Happy New Year, you filthy animal. I've actually been plotting to say that to someone since before New Year's Day. Like New Year's Eve, I was planning, like I was even thinking about calling someone just to say that to them. But I said, fuck it, I think I'd have a better reach if I just say it on the podcast. So there you go. Happy New Year to you. We are on the second day of 2020. The event horizon of ufology, UFOs, SpaceX, Blue Origin, every rubber dicker out there that has a rocket going somewhere. This is supposed to be their year. This is the year that they show us the business. This is the year we find out a little more behind what To the Stars Academy and Elon Musk have planned with the military. This is the year. This is the year that UFO Buster Radio will make the pilgrimage to Roswell to start some shit. We will. Hopefully you will. Some of you have already mentioned you'll be there. Ronnie Dawson already said he's going to make an appearance. So we'll be there at least for what we know with old Ronnie. But if you're going to be there, let me know. Maybe we can have a whole thing, UFO Buster Radio thing, where we like walk in like a swath, a horde, a gathering of UBR truth seekers to where we just make waves throughout Roswell. I think that would be fun, you know. I think it'd be fascinating to have, like, you know, a group of like 30, 40 people just walk up to a table with Stephen Bissett or Mr. Greer and all at the same time just surround him. You know, word is that Stephen Greer even takes his bodyguards to the restroom. Somebody's got to look for it, right? Because he's not going to do it himself. But that's the way it goes. So it's something to think about if you're going to be out there. Rendezvous. Let's check out the sites together. This is episode number 325, and we got a couple of articles to talk about today as we shine in and take a peek at the mindset of good old science. Yeah. It really is twofold, because one story is about how our current theories are killing our ability to even discover extraterrestrial life. And then the other one is, again, admitting to the fact that shit's too far. Why? Why even bother? It's not even worth it. When you see the numbers that are in this article, you will see why I'm always saying, why are we looking billions of light years away? For what? Especially when you are guessing at the majority of it. I don't know. It just shocks me that with all the brain power we have in science and government and also private enterprise, that no one can just come to a conclusion that it's a big fucking waste of time. I know. I kind of sound like a broken record.
1, 2, 3, 4. What about the world we both believed in? What about the word that made it so? What about your blood boiling crazy when you're just aching for her love like you could blow? You're like a broken record that turns and turns and turns again. You're like a broken record. That's what unravel. What about the bright and shiny future we would make? But like a broken record, turns and turns and turns again. You're like a broken record. That's what I am. That's what I am. Will the circus come to my town? Will it pass me by? If the clown won't take his mask off, tell me what he cried. You're like a broken record. Turns and turns and turns again. You're like a broken record. That's what I am. That's what I am. That's what I am. That's what I am.
We've said this time again, why is it that we can't change the way we think about things? Why are we stuck? The article today says this: alien life is out there, but our theories are probably steering us away from it. Yeah, we go through this all the time, right? Why are we thinking about how you identify life on the planet Earth when you know that if you're spending your time looking at star systems, planets billions of light years away, chances are they didn't develop the same way. It wasn't the same evolution, or however you feel life began, it probably was not the same. Now, you could say that the planets are being seeded by meteors crashing down and bringing all kind of microbial life to start things up, get a little kickstart. But it wouldn't be the same. Like, we didn't have the same fucking meteor explode all over the one galaxy. So the question is, why can't we change the way that we're thinking? And the idea is, the reason why we can't find life, the reason why we don't find signs of it is because we are still looking at things from our own perspective and not open to anything else. The article itself, which was published in theconversation.com, is basically saying, hey, if you're not finding something, it's because you're not fucking looking for it. You're stuck looking at the things that you know. You're not open to the possibilities that life might be completely different. Okay, this one here is surprising. From NASA. NASA's Advisory Council, Scott Gaudi, who is involved in the search for extraterrestrial life, he said this: one thing I am quite sure of, now having spent more than 20 years in this field of exoplanets, expect the unexpected. Now, we've seen articles about NASA before and the way they do things and how they seem to always be, hitting that proverbial brick wall head first every single time. This guy probably works at the cafeteria at NASA, or he's a janitor, because they would not let someone with such an idea work among the ranks of the elite dudes with the pocket protectors. Nope. Impossible. That's what he's saying. He says that basically, we often miss what we don't expect to see, according to something that he quoted from a cognitive psychologist, Daniel Simmons. Now, why is he quoting Daniel Simmons? Daniel Simmons did a couple of experiments where he had people involved, heavily involved in activities, and a gorilla walked around, banging his chest. Of course, it was someone in a gorilla suit, but the folks were so involved in what they were doing, and the focus was so into the act that they never even noticed the gorilla banging his chest. The gorilla, of course, passed within their peripheral vision, so if they wanted to see it, they would have, plain and simple. Another experiment that he did was changing the color of the cards in a playing deck. For example, a card, any card, like let's say a Queen of Hearts, was actually in black instead of red. The participants, so focused on the game they were playing, did not even realize that the cards were not the color they were supposed to be. But that's not the only evidence. There is evidence historically when it comes to NASA and science where if it's not the way it's theorized to be, then something's broken. The data is wrong. You are looking at the wrong things, so just forget about it. You just screwed up. Let's move on to the next thing. There's an example here in the article that says, well, when evidence was first found of low amounts of ozone in the atmosphere above Antarctica, the data was dismissed because it was incorrect. Right? Because science is saying, nope, this is what it should be, and that's the way it is. And anyone that thinks any other way, it's incorrect, and you're basically failed at your job because you're an idiot. Well, it turns out someone decided to go back and retest it again, and what they found was basically that there was low amounts of ozone over Antarctica. And then the discovery was official. The theory here is that science eventually just has to kick itself in the ass and start thinking differently. Stop being stuck. We've seen this time and time again when it comes to our own solar system where scientists misread things, or they expect to see something and it's not there, or there's something completely different that they never even identified because they didn't bother to look for it. So our friend here from NASA, Scott Gaudi, is saying basically science in general has to open their eyes to the possibility that the theories that they've established here on the planet Earth does not apply in many places in the universe if you're going to consider the possibility that you need to think about things differently in order to find life. We got folks in the live chat. We got, of course, Guter. We have Dr. Green Man. And we also have Guy Feathersome. Ashley says that part 2 of the gorilla video is better than the part 1. So there you go. This guy says, check out both. Okay, listen, that's the way it is. We see this all the time in so many ways. We are so focused in our own perspective that we forget the perspective of others, and the fact that maybe other people who have other theories, maybe those are the ones that we need to search on, do some research, do some testing, and get to the point where we can actually open the possibilities that maybe there is life on Mars somewhere. Maybe something is farting up that methane. Maybe that's possible. But we're a long way from there, to be honest. We'll get there eventually, but it might just take someone outside of the realm of the rigors of science to open the eyes to those who are involved in the science madness. The article is linked in the description. Check it out if you want it. There's some more information in there regarding some other ways that people see and believe that science itself can eventually open their minds to other things. And don't say SETI, because SETI's not cutting it. SETI is not cutting it for anyone, not even their own damn selves. Period.
And the lights are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Yeah, that's a crazy ass question there. Guy has a question here that's in the chat box at the moment. The question is, I always ask, is why research something to get the established result? Nobody knows, but our result just came in, and Ronnie Dawson is in the chat box at the moment. Yeah, also Zachariah. Zachariah, I know he's on there somewhere. He's like tweeting away somewhere. I saw a couple of retweets from him. And Dave is just, he'll show up at the very end of the podcast for some reason. He likes getting the playback because if he misses the beginning, that's the only way he's going to hear the whole thing. Guy has a good question there. That's all about the way theories and working ass backwards. But hey, eventually we are going to get this right and we're going to figure out what the hell's going on out there. And I guess the question for Guy is, God, what do you believe in? Is there really something out there, or is it just a bunch of theoretical nonsense? The next article talks about basically scientists finally got together and decided, hey, let's calculate how long it'll take to reach distant stars. Now, let's just be honest. This was in Popular Mechanics. But let's be honest, they did this a long time ago. There is no way that we're traveling in our own solar system and no rubber dicker sat around in a toilet somewhere and thought about, hey, I was just looking at that other galaxy the other day. I wonder how long it's going to take to get there. And there's no way that freaking pocket protecting fool did not go back to his desk, pull out the calculator, and try to figure out how long it would take. And the fact is that it just went in one ear and out the other. Because if he really took to heart how long it would take for all of his efforts to come to fruition, he'd fucking give up. He'd go become an accountant somewhere or something like that. I would. I mean, the numbers are fucking ridiculous. It turns out a team of scientists have calculated how long it would take 4 operating spacecraft to reach the nearest star. Now, these spacecraft, I'm sure they're not top of the line, basically travelers when it comes to traveling between stars, but it's basically all we got right now, so you just gotta live with it. So they basically compared the path of 4 spacecraft that are currently in space and where they can end up eventually if they continue to live. Because come on, with the numbers we're talking about, none of these 4 things are even going to be freaking operating by the time they even come to a billionth of the distance that they need to travel to get to a star. And let's be honest by that. According to their work posted online, it turns out it would take about 90,000 years for Pioneer 10 to swing by within striking distance of a nearby star. Striking distance. When you put that in interstellar terms, that's still a long fucking time. It's not even close. I mean, it's striking distance. It's not even like, I'll be there next week. No. Striking distance is a long fucking way. So this, just keep that in mind when you think about striking distance. Even 90,000 years. Fuck, the planet probably won't even be here. Or even civilization probably won't even be here. Mankind will be wiped off the planet several times over. I mean, that's the truth of it. So the team of scientists, which was part of the Max Planck Institute of Astronomy in Switzerland, and also someone from the NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory, got together, got some calculations going, and they decided to chart out how long it would take these 4 spacecrafts to actually make it. And listen, the numbers are crazy. And to be honest, they actually took about 5 years worth of data from the Gaia telescope, which has been collecting data. I mean, billions of stars are being charted by this particular machine. And so they were able to superimpose that, the path of the 4 spacecrafts, and kind of get a trajectory about how long it would actually take there in their current path. You know, they're not going to try to deviate from it, but they decided just to look at it. And it says this, that apparently the 4 spacecraft will come into striking distance, again, a long fucking time, from what it really means, of approximately 60 stars. Can hold on to your big girl panties within the next 1,000,000 years. Just going to give you, I wish I had the China quote from Trump, because that's what it feels like right now. It's like an endless China rant. Yeah, 1,000,000 years, $1 million. Yeah, 1,000,000 years. Just to get close to 60 stars. And then in the same amount of time, another 1,000,000 years, they'll get even closer, what's called a parsec. Well, 2 parsecs, which is the equivalent of 6.5 light years to about 10 stars. The distances are ridiculous. Now, they pose a question. After getting the paths together, getting the data on the stars from the Gaia Space Telescope, they said, which one of these 4 pieces of crap are going to get there? Are going to get there first? Yeah, which one of these slow ass fucking spacecraft are going to make it to their star or get there the closest, within striking distance, quote unquote? It turns out that Pioneer 10 will swing within 0.231 parsecs of a star system known as HIP 11117795. And that's approximately 90,000 years away. Ridiculous. As a scientist, if I'm sitting there and I'm looking at distant planets, galaxies, other parts of the universe, how hard could it be to realize that humanity might be far long gone before any human gets to that planet that you're trying to analyze gas from, just from the way that it reflects light from billions of light years away? It's not a satisfying job, I can tell you. There's no I'm surprised we don't see a lot of freaking stories and news stories about scientists being drunkards, just being pulled over all the time, smoking weed and doing that crystal meth. There's another number they calculated, and that is the number of years before any one of those spacecrafts is actually hijacked by the orbit of one of those stars, right? One of those 60 stars. Now, this is in years. So you take the number 1. Just do this for me for a second. Just write this down. Just write it down. You put a 1 and add 21 zeros to it. That's the number that they calculated would take for any one of these spacecrafts to actually get caught up in the orbit of any of those stars that they go by. So one thing, they shot the stars basically in a trajectory that they could never get caught up by any fucking star anywhere, in order for them to wait that long. And the other thing is, who fucking cares? The reason I bring this up is because, hey, just listen to this. It is just way too much time to sit around and think about shit when your own solar system is still a fucking mystery to you. That just makes no sense at all. It's just too much. You gotta shoot a little closer. Just shoot to where you can actually hit. Can you imagine? If we did that. If we really spent the last 40 years focusing in our own solar system and putting more effort behind that and identifying things there. I don't know. There's just no way around the amount of effort that's spent in trying to see things that you're just never going to get to. And really, it's even worse than trying to find the God particle, huh? Because the God particle seems to have been identified, right? And they thought they'd never see that. It's ridiculous. Completely ridiculous.
Strange vibrations
Yeah, Guy mentioned that that's your tax money hard at work, and also the fact that these 4 spacecrafts, they were not built for, just traveling at all kinds of speeds. They were basically out there observing the solar system, and then they got shot the fuck off into deep space, because why not? Most of them had a schedule operating lifetime to be about 11 to 12 years, and we know that they've the majority, well, at least the Voyagers, the V'gers, have kind of gone way past that, and have gone further than any vehicle, any machine that mankind has ever put together. But who fucking cares? So now we're in interstellar space, ain't shit around you, and it takes you how long to send a message? I mean, the irony in this is that no one even planned for this, because they were just like, oh, fuck it, look, it's living a little longer. Let's just let it keep going. Yeah, like, communication is a bitch. Communication is a bitch in that situation. Anybody heard anything from Security Team 10? Oh, Tyler? I've been getting a lot of flack, especially on YouTube, about Tyler Glockner. Hey, it is what it is, right? If you go out there and you put out some crazy news, you do some crazy stuff, hey, that's the way it is. People are going to talk about you when you have millions of followers and you act a complete fool and get caught by the cops. I mean, shit. It's not a crime until you get caught, Tyler. And you got caught. That is the episode for today. It's a little short. It's the first one back from the new year, 2020. And Ronnie came in a little late, but Ronnie was telling folks that chances are we're going to meet up over in Roswell to live it up, tear the place down, paint it pink, green, and red, and also get our prospective pets. Bugs wants to go into the alien pet contest with a costume. So we're planning that right now. He's going to win it this time. For sure. Thank you guys for listening. This is episode number 325. I'm checking out. Thank you guys for joining the chat box live. I'm about to go and plan the Dark Horde podcast coming shortly to you. I'll let you know exactly, but keep your eyes and ears open. As a matter of fact, just to show you guys that we're doing things a little different, I decided to play a little tango at the end just because I can.